Disguised as a backpacker, this kind millionaire owner changed a waitress's life forever. In the heart of Milltown, where dreams often took a backseat to bills and responsibilities, Sarah hustled from sunrise to sunset at the city's bustling diner. At 28, she was a whirlwind of determination, balancing 2 jobs while caring for her ailing mother and playful daughter, Lily. The smell of fresh coffee and sizzling bacon filled the air, a soothing blanket over Sarah's heavy heart. Each day brought a new challenge, a new reason to keep pushing, even as the weight of the world felt heavier with every tick of the clock. One fateful morning, the familiar chime from the door announced a new arrival, breaking the rhythm of the diner. An unkempt backpacker with wide eyes and a scruffy beard entered, blending in with the everyday hustle yet somehow standing out. He chose a corner booth, a smile playing at his lips as he took in the scene. Sarah approached, her notepad ready, her heart racing from the familiar do-it-all routine. "Morning. What can I get you?" she asked, a mix of exhaustion and warmth in her tone. As she took his order, their conversation began to flow like a river, deep and uncharted. Sarah spoke of her mother's courage, of late-night trips to the pharmacy and the shadows that danced in her daughter's eyes when she yearned for the simple joys of life like playing in the park and discovering the magic of summer. With every word, her spirit shone through, igniting curious compassion in Ethan, the backpacker. He listened, captivated by her strength, the raw truth of her struggles laid bare before him. Before leaving, Ethan slipped something discreetly into Sarah's backpack, a small envelope filled with cash, an attempt to relieve the burdens that weighed her down. But when Sarah discovered the unexpected gift, a swell of indignation rose within her. She would not accept charity. They were her struggles, her battles to fight. She felt a tightness in her chest, the pride of self-reliance refusing to buckle under the weight of desperation, even as the world buzzed on around her. Days melted into weeks as the diner buzzed with life, while Sarah fought her daily battles, her heart heavy with responsibility and pride. Then, news of her situation caught the attention of a local outlet, sparking a movement of community support. People rallied behind her, strangers becoming friends with a shared purpose, each small act of kindness a testament to the resilient spirit of Milltown. And then, there was Ethan again, this time revealing himself as the owner of the diner. He didn't come as a savior but as a partner, proposing an opportunity beyond mere financial aid. With an investment in the diner, he wanted to see Sarah run it as her own. Flames of opportunity ignited within her. She envisioned a thriving establishment, one that would help sustain her mother's care and fulfill Lily's dreams. But with this hope came tension. Their discussions grew heated, fueled by the kitchen's frenetic energy. Did accepting his help mean surrendering her independence? Would Ethan comprehend her struggles, even as he wrestled with the privilege that allowed him to help in the first place? In the midst of their heated debate, Sarah found herself standing at the helm of the diner, the aroma of burgers and freshly baked pies wrapping around her like a warm embrace. She wanted to redefine her life, to honor her family and the sacrifices they made. But just as clarity began to dawn, tragedy struck, turning their burgeoning dreams upside down and challenging both their essential beliefs. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As Sarah braced herself to face the storm ahead, the full meaning of self-worth and community began to uncover itself. Could they weather this together? Would she find the strength not just to survive, but to thrive? And as their destinies intertwined, she couldn't shake the feeling that this journey, sprinkled with turmoil and hope, might be the very path to discovering who they truly were meant to be. The morning after their heated argument, the diner felt different. Tension hung in the air like the scent of stale coffee, thick and heavy. Sarah wiped the tables, her heart racing, her mind spinning with uncertainty. The hustle of the diner now felt burdened, each click of the coffee pot echoing her internal conflict. Ethan arrived early, his usual lightheartedness replaced by a somber demeanor. He sat at the booth where they had shared so much laughter and dreams. As he glanced up, his eyes met hers, and she felt as if a page from a book they were both reading had turned to an unexpected chapter. "Hey, can we talk?" His voice was steady but laced with an urgency that pulled at her heart. "About what?" she replied, trying to keep her tone firm, masking the uncertainty bubbling beneath. "About yesterday. I didn't mean to push too hard. It's just I see potential in you and this place." His hands moved animatedly as if he could mold the air around them into something tangible. Sarah folded her arms, unwilling to let her defenses down. "I appreciate that, but what I need more than anything is respect for my choices. This isn't just about business for me." "I know, and I respect that," he said, his sincerity shining through the cracks of tension. "But it's also about seeing the good we can do together. We can lift this diner, bring it back to life. Your mother, Lily, they deserve a future." Her heart softened at the mention of her daughter. Nonetheless, she fought against the rising warmth, couldn't let it sway her resolve. "And what about me? Will I be running someone else's vision? Is that what you want?" Ethan sighed, running a hand through his hair. "No. My vision is wild and untouched, just like yours. I wanted you to be the heart of this place. I can help, but only if you let me." Sarah was torn. She wanted his vision, but did she truly want to draw on his wealth? The thought stirred something deep inside her, a blend of hope and fear. "Promise me one thing," she said, finally stepping closer, lowering her voice. "Promise me that if I say yes, this will be my dream too. Not just something you fund." "Absolutely," he replied, his eyes glimmering with earnestness. "We'll make this a partnership. I'm in it for the community, for the people. And you're the key to that." Just then, the bell over the diner door jingled loudly, shattering the moment. A local news crew streamed in, excitement buzzing in their wake. "We're here for Sarah. We heard about the community support and wanted to feature you." The unexpected announcement sent a ripple of shock through Sarah. The faces of her neighbors, longtime patrons, and members of the community filled the diner, each one smiling and ready to share their stories. This was more than just about her, it was a testament to their shared hope and connection. "Look at them," Ethan whispered, his voice filled with awe. "You've inspired people more than you realize." As she stood before the group, camera lights flashing, a mixture of fear and exhilaration washed over Sarah. Would she open her heart to this chance, a chance to not just uplift herself but the very community that rallied around her? I don't know what to say," she stuttered, looking at the shining eyes of those who believed in her. "Then just say yes." One of the patrons yelled, laughter laced with encouragement reflecting in the room. She took a deep breath and felt the warmth in her chest grow. This was not just her story anymore. They were all part of this journey together. But as the cameras rolled, a little voice pierced through, her daughter Lily standing shyly at the door. "Mommy, are we okay?" In that instant, a new resolve washed over Sarah. Could accepting help mean truly transforming their future? The questions hung in the air like a promise yet to be fulfilled, and with the community's love enveloping her like a warm embrace, Sarah knew a decision loomed closer. Little did she realize, an unexpected twist was just around the corner, threatening to shake the foundation she was beginning to build. Would she be ready when the winds of change blew? The buzz of excitement filled the diner, swirling around Sarah like the scents of fresh pancakes and brewed coffee. Lily's presence tugged at her heart, a reminder that every decision she made would ripple into their lives. With each moment that passed, the weight of the choice grew heavier. "Mommy, are we okay?" Lily's voice broke through the noise, rooting Sarah back to what truly mattered. She could see the innocence in her daughter's eyes, seeking assurance in the midst of the chaos. "Yes, sweetie, we're fine," she managed, though doubt lingered in her heart. The patron's laughter washed over her, but Sarah felt a storm brewing inside. If she said yes to this project with Ethan, would it take them somewhere better? Or would it pull her away from what truly mattered, from the essence of who she was? "Come on, Sarah." Someone cheered. "You've got this." More voices chimed in, their encouragement swirling like a comforting blanket around her. Ethan stood at the edge of the crowd, his eyes locked on hers, full of faith. She ached to trust him, to believe in the possibility he offered. But a flicker of doubt whispered, reminding her of the silence in the diner during earlier days, the laughter that had faded as bills piled up, and her sleepless nights worrying about making ends meet. Maybe I can do a little more than just manage," she said, testing the waters. "But I don't want it to be just a business venture. I want it to bring us together." Ethan nodded enthusiastically. "Exactly. We can create a space where everyone feels at home." He glanced around at the faces lighting up, waiting for her. "Let's make this diner a cornerstone of our community." It was a bold idea, striking a chord deep within, but still, fear flickered like a candle in a storm. "And what if it all doesn't go as planned?" Sarah whispered, the thought pressing down like lead. "Then we learn, we adapt," Ethan replied, stepping closer. "I'll be there every step of the way." As the cameras continued to capture their moment, Lily broke away from the door, moving toward her with hesitant steps. Her little face was painted with curiosity and concern. "Will it be fun, Mommy?" she asked, her eyes wide. "Fun?" Sarah echoed, looking deeply into her daughter's trusting gaze. "Yeah, it could be. If we work together." Ethan smiled, his presence a steadying force. "We can throw community events, have open mic nights, and even cooking classes. It'll be a celebration of this place and the people in it." The thought warmed Sarah's heart. What if it truly could become a vibrant hub, filled with joy and laughter? An idea began to bloom, taking root in her mind. She pictured families coming together, laughter ringing out, and a bright future shining like daylight through the diner's windows. Suddenly, the door swung open, bringing in a chill. A familiar face emerged, one that flickered with uncertainty. Sarah's stomach nodded as recognition struck. It was her estranged father, someone she hadn't seen in years. Standing there awkwardly, he had a backpack slung over one shoulder. The moment felt surreal, a mix of past and present crashing together. "Sarah," he started, voice barely above a whisper. The diner quieted, and all eyes fell on their unexpected guest, tension swirling like a storm cloud. Sarah's heart raced as memories flooded back old wounds, the promises that had been broken. "Mommy, who is that?" Lily's innocent question pulled at Sarah's heart. "Someone from my past," she replied softly, unsure of what that meant for their future. The moment of decision slipped further away as surprise settled in, intertwining with the hope budding in her heart. What would happen now? Would she embrace this chance for connection, or would it shatter everything she was beginning to rebuild? As Sarah stood rooted, the air thick with uncertainty, she couldn't shake the feeling that everything was about to change again this time, perhaps in ways she couldn't foresee. Sarah's heart raced as she locked eyes with her father, the man who used to be a constant in her life until everything fell apart. The air in the diner was electric, charged with curiosity and judgment. Whispers floated through the crowd as people turned to each other, wondering about this unexpected visitor. "Dad?" Her voice felt distant, as if she was speaking from underwater. Memories swirled: family dinners, laughter, then silence, and hurt. The backpack swung slightly as he shifted his weight, the small gestures somehow amplifying the distance between them. I didn't know where else to go," he stammered, his eyes pleading for understanding. "I'm sorry for just showing up like this. I just wanted to see you." "Now?" Sarah asked, her tone sharper than intended. After all this time? Each word was heavy, laced with the bitterness of abandonment. Lily stood close to her mother, sensing the tension. "Mommy, is he okay?" she whispered, her innocence contradicting their world of complicated emotions. "Yeah, sweetie, he's just a little lost," Sarah replied, forcing a smile, unsure if it was meant for herself or her daughter. Ethan, ever the supportive anchor, stepped forward, placing a hand on her shoulder. He seemed to understand that this was deeply personal, a battle of emotions that was her alone to fight. "You don't have to do this now, Sarah," he said gently. "We can talk about the diner, or no, I need to hear what he has to say," she interrupted, her voice trembling. It was the first time in years she felt the urge to confront the past, to seek answers hidden in long-buried feelings. Her father shifted uncomfortably, a faint blush creeping across his cheeks. "I know I'm the last person you want to see, but I've changed. I've worked on myself. I thought if I could just try to explain, maybe we could start over." "Start over?" The words felt foreign and raw. "You left. You chose to walk away. How do you think you can just come back and fix everything?" The chatter in the diner began to fade, the hum replaced by the heartbeats thrumming in Sarah's ears. She felt exposed, standing in the middle of their icy confrontation, feeling the weight of judgment from prying eyes. "I know I don't deserve it," he said softly, voice dripping with regret. "But I've spent years trying to come to terms with my mistakes. I regret every moment I missed, and I want to make this right. For you and for Lily." He glanced at her daughter, who was still clutching Sarah's hand, eyes wide in confusion. Tears welled up unexpectedly in Sarah's eyes. This wasn't a simple matter of forgiveness. The memory of hollow holidays and silent calls felt sharper than ever, the distance between them haunting. Yet there was a flicker of yearning deep within her, a desire for closure, for clarity. I need time," she managed to say, her voice a whisper now, shaky yet resolute. "Time to figure out if I can trust you again." Her father nodded, his own eyes glistening. "That's fair. I'll give you whatever time you need. Just know that I'm here now. I want to be part of your life again." Sarah shifted her gaze back to Ethan, whose concern mirrored her own apprehension. He was supportive, but she felt the weight of his gaze that said, "Are you sure you want to go down this path?" As the diner buzzed back to life around them, she realized that the decision to reconnect could have implications touching every part of her life, including the diner's future, her plans with Ethan, and her precious bond with Lily. Can I really bear the risk? Sarah wondered silently, the warmth of hope and fear fighting for dominance in her heart. What if embracing this unexpected connection meant opening up wounds she had long tried to heal? The diner felt alive with possibility, and as Sarah let the moment sink in, she also felt it shatter into endless questions. What would happen if she embraced this fragmented past? Would it change the course of her future? As uncertainty loomed, she knew she needed to decide how to move forward. The stakes had never felt higher, and every moment stretched into infinity. Would she fortify her heart against the past and take a step into the unknown? The clattering of dishes and the murmur of conversation began to return to the diner, but for Sarah, the world had narrowed. It was just her, her father, and the choice hanging between them like a heavy shroud. His face, marked by time and regret, pleaded silently for her to understand, yet the memories of all those years of absence loomed larger in her mind. "Dad, do you know how hard it's been?" she asked, her voice trembling. "I built my life around not depending on you. I learned to be strong, to be the one in control." He nodded slowly, as if each word landed like a stone in his heart. "I know I can't change the past. I want you to know I've always thought about you. Always." Lily shifted beside her, sensing the thick tension. "Mommy, are you okay?" she whispered again, more urgently this time. Those innocent eyes focused on Sarah like she held the entire answer in her heart. "Yeah, sweetie. Just a little surprised, Sarah said, forcing a smile. But inside, the pressure was building, a mix of sorrow and confusion swirling like a tempest. She could feel the booth start to close in around her. Surprised, her father echoed, voice tightening. I never meant to hurt you. I thought what I was doing was best, but I see now it only created more pain. A low buzz of conversation enveloped them again, but Sarah felt isolated from the crowd. She could feel the weight of everyone's gaze, it stung like 1,000 needles pressed against her skin. You thought leaving was best? You thought that would fix things? I didn't think it through, Sarah. I was scared of being a failure, of being a burden. I thought it would hurt less if I just disappeared. He paused, taking a breath. But I was wrong. Oh, how terribly wrong. Those words cut deep, resonating with the unresolved hurt within her. You don't get to decide that anymore, she said, surprising herself with the strength behind her voice. You walked away. You left me to pick up the pieces. I know. And I'll spend the rest of my life regretting it, he replied, desperation creeping in. But I'm here now. Please let me show you. I'll prove I'm not the same man who left. I want to be a father. Not just a memory. Can people really change? Sarah pondered, her thoughts battling against hope and skepticism. Looking at Lily, she felt the embodiment of what she wanted, a family, trust, love. Is it too late? She whispered, half to herself. She felt a swell of confusion, a longing for resolution clashing against her instinct to protect herself and her daughter. Never too late. Just give me a chance, he implored, eyes shimmering with unshed tears. Let me show you. I'm ready to be part of this. Part of your life. Sarah's heart constricted at the thought of what could be with her father involved, yet the fear tugged harder. Was she really ready to dive back into this chaos when she had barely managed to build a fragile peace? Ethan, still by her side, squeezed her shoulder gently. It was his silent way of saying he was there for whatever choice she was about to make. She thought about him, and their dreams of a future together. Could that blend with whatever twisted reality her father was offering? With the diner alive around them, something inside her shifted. Was this the moment where she'd slip back into the intricate tapestry of her past? Or would she stand firm, weaving her own story, one thread at a time? Maybe she began, her voice unsure but resolute. Maybe we can talk more. But it has to be on my terms. Only when I feel ready. Anything, he replied, relief washing over him. But would anything ever be enough? The air was thick with uncertainty, and Sarah felt the weight of the moment as she wondered what barriers she might have to let down if she could let them down at all. As she clenched her fists, determination spread through her veins. The choice ahead loomed large, pregnant with possibility. But could she embrace the unexpected, or was she opening a door she couldn't close? The scent of fresh coffee filled the diner, mingling with the chatter and clinking dishes. Sarah's heart raced as she stared at her father, his hopeful eyes shimmering with the possibility of a new beginning. Okay, let's start with the basics, she said, her voice steadier now. What does being a father mean to you? He blinked, taken aback. It means being there for you, for Lily. It means making up for lost time. I want to be present, support you both. I want to be part of your lives, not just a guest in them. Lily's soft grip on Sarah's hand reminded her of what was at stake. And how do I know you really mean it? How can I trust you? Trust has to be built, he admitted, glancing down nervously. I get that. Just as I broke it, I want to earn it back. He paused, the weight of his admission hanging between them. But it has to start with honesty. I can't promise perfection, but I can promise my efforts. She studied him, searching for signs of sincerity among the years of absence. Would he be willing to fight for her trust when things got difficult again? Would he keep his promises, or would uncertainty creep back in like it always had? Ethan watched silently, his presence a steady anchor in the emotional storm swirling at the table. Sarah felt comforted by the gentle squeeze of his hand on her back. "When do you want to start?" he asked her quietly. "Right now," she said, surprising even herself. "Let us figure it out as we go." Her father's face lit up with a flicker of hope. "Really? You're giving me a chance?" "Not a free pass," she warned. "We'll meet regularly, maybe once a week. You'll need to prove you're here for us. And I can't pretend it'll be easy." "Anything, Sarah," he replied earnestly. "I'll do whatever it takes. Just tell me how." Lily, sensing the shift in the atmosphere, grinned and piped up, "Can I have a sleepover with Grandpa?" The innocence in her voice broke some tension, infusing the moment with warmth. A soft chuckle escaped Sarah's lips, and she nodded. "That's a good idea, actually. But let us take it slow. We'll need to figure this all out first." "Of course," her father responded, clearly caught off guard by his granddaughter's casual acceptance. "I'd love to spend time with you both. I want to know you better, Lily." The moment felt fragile yet filled with promise. A small part of Sarah's heart hesitated, still guarded. She wanted so badly to believe in this newfound possibility, yet shadows of doubt lingered at the edges of her mind. Ethan mustered a smile, one of encouragement and support, but Sarah saw the concern lurking behind it. Whatever plan she made would impact them all. "So, what does it look like moving forward?" she pressed, anxiety bubbling beneath her surface. "Just give me a chance to show you. Let me be part of your lives," her father said, his voice trembling slightly. "I want to create new memories, ones that won't feel like a ghost haunting us." "Then we'll start with dinner at my place," Sarah suggested, feeling a spark of excitement. "Next week. Just the three of us? And we'll see how it goes?" "Absolutely," he replied, a hint of a smile breaking through his usual somber expression. But even as hope blossomed, a nagging voice in her head urged caution. This dance of trust was fraught with risk. Was she really ready to dive into a relationship that could unravel at any moment? As they wrapped things up, Sarah's heart teetered on the edge between anticipation and fear. Could this truly be the start of something beautiful, or was she simply setting herself up for another heartbreak? As they stepped out of the diner, the evening light softened around them, illuminating a path yet to be traveled. But one question filled her mind, echoing in the silence: when would the past truly stay buried, and would the future truly be worth the fight? The next week crept by slowly, each day heavy with a mix of hope and anxiety. Sarah found herself rehearsing the evening over and over in her mind. As she prepped for dinner, she could almost hear the echoes of conversations they would have. Would they laugh? Would the air feel comfortable, or would it crackle with tension? She moved around the kitchen, her mind buzzing. Lily was off at a friend's house, giving Sarah some time to collect her thoughts. She set the table meticulously, her actions fueled by both excitement and dread. The smell of roasted chicken filled the air, making her stomach swirl. Cooking had always been a way for her to find peace, a form of meditation against the chaos of her thoughts. But tonight, everything felt different. When the clock struck 6, Sarah's heart raced. Would he show up? Her father's face flashed in her mind, the determined glimmer in his eyes from their last meeting. Just then, the doorbell rang, and she nearly jumped. It was him, standing there with a bouquet of flowers and a nervous smile that somehow looked like it belonged to a heroic character in one of those rom-coms she loved. "Hey, I hope you don't mind," he began, gesturing awkwardly with the flowers. "I just thought it would be nice to bring something." She took them, forcing a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. "Thank you. They're beautiful," she said, trying to keep her tone light. He stepped inside, and the tension thickened like fog. She motioned for him to take a seat at the table, their eyes met for a moment, the weight of unspoken words hung between them. The atmosphere was fragile, like a soap bubble, ready to burst with the slightest touch. They chatted about the weather, trivial matters that felt like a thin veil over the deeper conversations looming just beneath the surface. Sarah fought to keep her hands steady while she plated their meal, trying to gauge her father's reactions. Was he genuinely trying to reconnect, or was it all just a performance? Each laugh felt like a tentative step into a new dance. As they ate, they sunk into a rhythm. She shared stories about Lily, her recent dance recital, and how she had finally mastered tying her shoelaces. Laughter bubbled up from her father, and Sarah felt a twinge of warmth. For a moment, she forgot the years lost to silence and disappointment. "Do you think she'll let me take her on outings?" he asked after a moment, his eyes bright with the thought of bonding with Lily. "I think she would like that," Sarah said, surprised by the sincerity in her own voice. "But you'll need to win her over too." He nodded earnestly. "I'll earn her trust, just like I'll earn yours. I promise." But then, like a storm cloud, the unease returned. "What happens if this all goes wrong again?" she blurted out, the words spilling from her before she could stop them. A soft silence enveloped the room, the question hung heavy. "I don't want to let you down." "I'm not going anywhere this time," he said, determination lacing every word. "I'll fight for this." Her heart ached with conflicting emotions. Could she allow herself to believe in this? To take a risk again? As they resumed their conversation, Sarah started to feel that maybe, just maybe, they were building something new. As the evening waned, Sarah caught a glimpse of who her father could be. By the time dessert arrived, the earlier tension had eased, replaced by shared stories and playful memories. They shared a laugh over a particularly spicy carrot cake, and Sarah found herself smiling, really smiling. But as the evening ended and her father got ready to leave, a gnawing doubt clenched her gut. Was this the beginning of their rebuilding, or just another fleeting moment in a long line of disappointments? When he turned to her at the door, his expression was serious, maybe even a bit fragile. "You won't regret this, Sarah," he said softly. And just like that, she felt the walls of her heart shaking. She wasn't sure she was ready for what was next, but deep down, curiosity sparked. Yet, as he walked away, the question lingered: was this the beginning of a new chapter, or was she standing at the edge of yet another heartbreak? The days that followed felt like an odd limbo for Sarah. She held on to that evening like a precious stone, slipped into her pocket but still very much visible in her mind. Each time the phone buzzed, her heart jumped. It was the constant reminder that he could reach out, and yet, she found herself checking it less often as the days went by. Was she growing more comfortable, or just better at hiding from her feelings? Lily came home with stories of her week. She bounced into the kitchen, eyes bright and cheeks flushed from playing with her friends. Sarah watched her daughter, a mixture of pride and protectiveness swelling in her chest. She was an adventure waiting to happen, a bright light even on dull days. But could they let someone else, especially her father, into that world without it dimming? "Mom, can we bake cookies?" Lily asked, her enthusiasm infectious. "Sure, sweetheart." "What kind?" "Chocolate chip. The big gooey ones." As they mixed the ingredients, laughter filled the air, and for a brief moment, worries melted away. Baking together was their special ritual, one that made the world outside their kitchen disappear. Sarah cherished these simple moments, feeling the warm dough beneath her fingers, sharing silly stories, and sneaking tastes before they were baked. Just as they pulled the cookies from the oven, Sarah's phone rang. She hesitated before grabbing it, half expecting it to be a spam call. But when she saw his name illuminated on the screen, her heart raced. It was the first time since their dinner. "Hey, Dad," she answered, trying to sound casual, though her voice wavered. "Hi, Sarah. Just wanted to know how you and Lily were doing," he said, the earnestness in his tone disarming. "We're good. Baking cookies," she replied, as her daughter bounced around in the background chanting yay. "Can I come over?" I'd love to see you both. The request hung there, settling in the air like a brick. Sarah considered it, uncertainty creeping back in. Could she open the door again? How about a picnic in the park instead? She proposed, surprised at her own courage. Sounds perfect. I'll bring food, my treat. Okay, she said, letting out a breath she hadn't realized she was holding. Just don't bring anything weird. They both laughed, a shared moment of lightness against the backdrop of their past. They settled on a time for the weekend, and as she hung up, apprehension bubbled in her stomach. She felt it again, the faint glimmer of excitement fighting against growing unease. Who was that? Lily asked, looking up at her with curious eyes. It was Grandpa. He wants to have a picnic with us this weekend. Really? Yay! Can I help pick out our picnic blanket? Sarah nodded, smiling at Lily's innocent joy. It was a little piece of normalcy wrapped in a big question. But worry crept in again. How much did she trust him? Could he be the father she always wanted, or was she risking the heart of her daughter in the process? As the sun began to set, Sarah watched the colors explode across the sky, fiery oranges mixing with soft purples. It was beautiful and also terrifying. Change was never easy, especially when the past loomed large. Mom? Lily brought her back to the moment, her innocent smile bright as she held up their favorite blanket. Yes, sweetie? Can we really trust him? Those words echoed in Sarah's mind, bearing weight beyond their simplicity. She bent down to meet Lily's eyes, filled with a mixture of hope and fear. I hope so, she replied softly, and in that moment, she realized how much she wanted to believe it, not just for herself, but for her daughter too. Little did they know, this picnic would be the turning point, an opportunity for connection or a chance for the past to resurface once more. As they prepared, Sarah's heart beat heavily, longing for resolution. But what would happen when they stepped into the light of that uncertain future? The day of the picnic arrived, bright and promising. The sun hung high in the sky, casting a warm glow over everything. Sarah and Lily hustled about the house, a flurry of excitement mixed with a hint of anxiety. The blanket was packed, along with a container of cookies still slightly warm from the oven and a thermos of lemonade that glistened in the light. Do I look okay? Sarah asked, glancing in the mirror. She brushed an errant strand of hair behind her ear, attempting to quell the butterflies dancing in her stomach. Mom, you look like a picnic superstar. Lily exclaimed, bouncing on her toes in her bright sundress. Sarah smiled at the girl's exuberance, the innocence of childhood washing over her worries like a balm. She grabbed their picnic basket and nodded, breathing in the fresh air as they stepped outside. The drive to the park felt longer than usual. Every signal change felt like an eternity. Sarah's mind raced with thoughts. What if it was awkward? What if he didn't know how to engage with Lily? Doubts clung like shadows. Yet a small voice persisted, whispering that this could be a chance for something new. Arriving at the park, they found a cozy spot under a sprawling oak tree, its leaves gently swaying in the breeze. As Sarah laid out the blanket, her heart thudded louder with every passing moment. They're here. Lily squealed, pointing excitedly at the approaching figure of her grandfather, a smug smile on his face. He carried a large picnic basket that looked as if it might burst at the seams. Hey, you two! He called out, his voice warm and inviting. Hope you're ready for a feast. As he set down the basket, Sarah watched him closely, searching for signs of the father she had long hoped for. He seemed genuine, but the vestiges of their past haunted her thoughts. Okay, let's see what you brought. Lily exclaimed, kneeling to open the basket. Inside, there were sandwiches, fruit, and containers of homemade salads. Sarah's skepticism eased. He had put thought into this. They settled onto the blanket, and as they began to eat, light-hearted chatter flowed. Sarah found herself laughing at her father's old jokes while Lily intermittently burst into squeals about the squirrels teasing them from the surrounding trees. For a moment, it felt almost normal. Yet, beneath the surface, tension rippled in Sarah's heart. She caught glimpses of her father stealing glances at Lily, his eyes shining with a mixture of love and regret. It was a look she recognized, one that resonated with her own longing for connection. "Is it okay if I take a picture of you two?" he asked suddenly, pulling out his phone. "I want to remember this day." "Sure," Lily chirped, grinning wide. Sarah nodded, masking her reservations behind a smile. He snapped a few pictures, capturing their laughter and joy in those brief flashes. When he showed them the shots, Sarah couldn't deny the warmth creeping into her chest at the sight of them together. But just as the air lightened, he turned serious. "I want to do better, you know," he said quietly, his gaze shifting to Sarah. "For both of you. I've had time to think about all the mistakes I made." The words hung between them, thick with history. Sarah's stomach churned again. Was this sincerity or just another empty promise? "How do I know you mean it?" she replied, her voice steadier than she felt. Her father sighed, a hint of desperation in his eyes. "Because I want to be part of her life. I want to be part of yours, too." Lily, oblivious to the weight of their conversation, tugged Sarah's arm, her laughter ringing through the air. "Mom! Let's play catch." As Sarah watched her daughter bounce away, a flicker of hope ignited inside her. Perhaps they both deserved another chance, but still, doubts lingered like uninvited guests. With the light beginning to fade, casting golden rays through the trees, Sarah knew one truth remained clear: the path ahead wasn't set, and the next choices could change everything. Could this be the beginning, or a repeat of the past? As Sarah joined Lily in her games, laughter mixing with worry, an unfamiliar question intruded: would she be brave enough to trust again? The days breezed by, fluttering with warmth and uncertainty, as Sarah navigated the delicate waltz between hope and fear. The picnic had been a success, laughter echoing sweetly through the park, culinary delights enjoyed under a sprawling oak, and Caleb, her father, making sincere attempts to connect with Lily that softened the edges of her apprehensions. Yet, her heart remained cautious. Could he truly change, she pondered. The comforting routine of the diner buzzed with life, yet shadows of doubt lurked in the back of her mind. She kept the guarded hope surrounding their arrangement, meeting her father weekly, piece by piece, inching toward reconnection. Every Saturday, they gathered at the diner, sometimes for lunch, other times for ice cream. With each meal, Caleb regaled Lily with tales of his own childhood, joy blossoming anew in her daughter's laughter. Sarah observed the gentle way he interacted, patiently answering Lily's questions with a warmth she had yearned for long before. Still, she felt an echo of past disappointments when she couldn't shake the weight of hesitance. Then came the week when Caleb suggested they bring Lily to the park for a small movie night, complete with a screen set against the backdrop of the stars. "It'll be fun," he insisted, his excitement bubbling. Sarah hesitated, feeling protective, but Lily's enthusiasm sealed the deal. It was time to test the waters, to see if this could become a reality where trust rekindled. As the sun dipped lower, painting the sky in hues of orange and lavender, Sarah stood next to Ethan outside the diner, setting up the projector. He worked diligently, his presence steady and reassuring, contrasting with her swirling thoughts. "Are you worried?" Ethan asked, catching her glancing at the park filled with families setting their own blankets. "Yeah," she admitted. "What if it all falls apart? Remember, you're not alone in this. You've built something wonderful, and you've done it with a lot of heart," he encouraged, meeting her gaze directly. She released a breath, thankful for his support amidst uncertainties. The park quickly filled with laughter and chatter, the aroma of popcorn wafting through the air, mingling with the scent of summer. As the screen flickered to life, everyone settled down on their blankets. Lily clapped her hands, her gleeful voice lifting the spirits of those around them. The cozy warmth of family swept through Sarah, filling the cracks in her heart with possibility. Then, just as the opening credits began to roll, Sarah spotted Caleb making his way through the crowd. He waved at her and Lily, a proud smile capturing his face. Fear and uncertainty gripped her heart one more time. Could she let him fully in? As he approached, Lily ran to him, pulling him into an embrace. "Isn't this great, Grandpa?" she exclaimed, her excitement melting Sarah's reservations bit by bit. "It's like a bigger movie party." "Absolutely," he replied, kneeling to her level, his eyes sparkling. "And I wouldn't want to be anywhere else." Sarah watched them, warmth unfurling inside her as nostalgia washed over her like the gentle tides of a bond long buried, never entirely gone. Every laugh, every shared glance became a thread weaving them closer together, past betrayals and present joys slowly stitching life anew. Suddenly, the projector flickered awkwardly, creating a momentary pause in their laughter. Caleb glanced back, gently reassuring Sarah with a nod. It was a simple moment, yet it reminded her this family of hers was still in the making. As the night unfolded, laughter fluctuated between scenes of adventure, playful snacks, and delightful chatter. Caleb and Lily made an impromptu game of guessing movie quotes while eating popcorn, showcasing an affinity blossoming before her eyes. Sarah shared in the warmth of this newfound connection, lost in the joy of the evening. By the end of the night, as families began to pack up and the projector relayed the soon-to-be blank canvas of the night sky, Sarah felt something shift within, the doubts slowly fading. "Dad?" she called to him, watching as he helped Lily gather her things. "Yes?" He looked up. "Can we do this again?" The request slipped from her lips, a soft blending of vulnerability and hope. His face lit up visibly, bursting with a vibrancy that felt infectious. "Of course. I'd love nothing more." As they shared the moment, an undercurrent of connection hummed beneath the air, and Sarah found herself breathing under the weight of a soft glow. Maybe, just maybe, they wouldn't fall apart again. Caleb stepped closer. "I'll never take this time for granted, Sarah. I'm here, and I'm committed." A smile unfurled on her lips, and warmth flooded her chest. "I believe you." In that fleeting moment of clarity, Sarah knew they were starting anew. More than the struggles, more than the hurt, this was family in every sense of the word. And with Lily giggling between them, the future blinked brightly like the stars overhead, promising new adventures filled with joy, laughter, and the beautiful chaos of connection. As they left the park together, Sarah felt her heart swell, stepping forward, stepping into a promise unlike the past. It was both risky and exhilarating. Now, dear friends, if this story has touched your heart, it's time to take action. You need to subscribe now to not miss the next exclusive tales that inspire and uplift. Leave a like now to fuel the algorithm and spread this journey far and wide. Don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Your support means the world. Comment below with your reactions and feelings about this ending. Let's grow this community together.